Welcome back to Fuel for English Life, where we don't just learn English, we train the mind, build character, and awaken the power that's already inside you. Today's episode is one of the most important ones you'll ever hear, because it's about the place where every victory and every defeat begins, your mind. Every dream you chase, every goal you fail or achieve, it all starts here, in your thoughts. Your mind is a battlefield, a constant war between your strength and your weakness, between your potential and your fear, between the voice that says, you can, and the one that whispers, you can't. In this episode, we'll explore 7 powerful rules to help you win that invisible war, to take back control, to build mental armor, and to transform your thinking into your greatest weapon. Let's begin. Rule 1. Become aware of the war inside you. The first and most powerful step to winning the battle of the mind is awareness, realizing that the war is real and that it's happening inside you every single day. Most people live their whole lives on autopilot, reacting to thoughts, emotions, and fears as if they were slaves to them. They don't even know there's a war going on, and that's exactly why they lose. You see, your mind is not just a peaceful garden of ideas. It's a battlefield filled with conflicting forces. One side pushes you toward growth, courage, discipline, and greatness. The other side pulls you toward laziness, fear, comfort, and excuses. Every morning when you wake up, the war begins again. It's the silent voice in your head that says, stay in bed a little longer, while another whispers, get up and make your future. It's the battle between your desire to improve and your craving for comfort. Becoming aware means stepping back and observing your mind instead of being controlled by it. Notice when negative thoughts start attacking you. You're not good enough. You always fail. What's the point of trying? These aren't facts. They're just weapons your weaker self uses to stop you. When you learn to see your thoughts without reacting to them, you start to gain control. You start to realize, I am not my thoughts. I am the one who observes them. That single shift changes everything. Awareness gives you power, because once you can see the enemy, you can defend yourself. At Fuel for English Life, I always tell my listeners, your success doesn't start with a plan. It starts with awareness. Until you understand that your biggest fight isn't against the world, but against your own mind, you'll keep losing battles that were never real in the first place. The moment you open your eyes to the inner war, the moment you start catching those negative thoughts before they take control, that's the moment you start winning. The first rule of mental strength is to recognize that your thoughts are not truth. They are just noise. You decide which side you fight for. Every day, every hour, every moment, the war inside you is waiting. The question is, will you be the soldier who fights back, or the one who surrenders without even realizing there was a war? Rule 2. Control your thoughts before they control you. Your mind is not a quiet place. It's a constant war zone, a place where thousands of thoughts rise, fight, and fall every single day. Some of those thoughts are warriors that protect your purpose, thoughts of hope, focus, and belief, but others are enemies dressed in disguise, thoughts of fear, laziness, anger, doubt, and regret. And here's the truth most people ignore. You are not your thoughts. You are the commander of them. But the sad part is, most people give up their control. They let their thoughts run wild like untrained soldiers on a battlefield. They let one negative thought grow into a storm. One fear turns into hesitation. One doubt turns into a full surrender. And then they wonder why they feel powerless, why their dreams seem impossible, why every step forward feels like walking through fire. The war was never out there. It's always been inside your own head. Think about this carefully. Before you fail at anything in life, you fail in your thoughts first. Before you give up on a dream, your mind whispers, it's too hard. Before you lose confidence, your thoughts say, you're not good enough. That's how the mind works. It tests your will before life does. But here's where you rise. The moment you learn to command your mind, the moment you refuse to let toxic thoughts take control, everything begins to shift. Success doesn't start with money, luck, or talent. It starts with one decision, the decision to think differently. Let me tell you something powerful. When you wake up in the morning, your mind is already talking. It says things like, "I'm tired, I'll start tomorrow, I don't feel ready." But what if, instead of listening, you spoke back? What if you said, "I am in control, I decide what I think, I decide what I believe, I decide who I become"? That's when the battle begins to turn in your favor. Your thoughts are not random. They are programs written by years of experience, pain, and fear. You can't erase them instantly, but you can retrain them. Every time a negative thought appears, stop, breathe, and challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me win or making me weak? If it's not helping you win, it doesn't deserve to stay. Replace it immediately. Replace "I'm not smart enough" with "I'm still learning and I'm improving every day." Replace "This is too hard" with "This challenge is building my strength." Replace "I'll never make it" with "Every step is progress and I will make it." Because listen carefully, the thoughts you repeat become beliefs. Your beliefs become your mindset. Your mindset shapes your habits, and your habits create your destiny. You see, every successful person, every leader, every champion you admire, they all fought this same inner war. They weren't born with perfect minds. They trained their thoughts like soldiers, disciplined and loyal. They refused to let negativity win, even when life tried to crush them. Mental control is not about ignoring pain. It's about mastering how you respond to it. It's about saying, "Yes, this hurts. Yes, I'm scared, but I won't let fear take command." It's about refusing to surrender to the voice that says, "You can't." Let me tell you, the mind is the most powerful weapon you'll ever hold, but it can also be your most dangerous enemy. You can't destroy it, but you can train it. And how do you train your mind? Through awareness, repetition, and discipline. Awareness means you catch your thoughts before they control you. Repetition means you speak empowering words every single day until your brain believes them. And discipline means you don't wait for motivation. You act even when you don't feel like it. You are not weak for having negative thoughts. You are weak only when you let them lead. At Fuel for English Life, I want you to remember this. Your thoughts are the generals of your destiny. If you want to win the war of life, you must learn to command them with courage and clarity. When your mind says, "You're not ready," reply, "Neither was anyone at the start, but they began anyway." When your mind whispers, "What if I fail?" reply, "What if I rise higher than ever before?" When your mind screams, "You can't handle this," reply, "Watch me." You become unstoppable, not when life gets easy, but when your thoughts get stronger. This is rule 2. Control your thoughts before they control you. Win the battle inside, and the world outside will start to fall in line. Rule 3. Build mental armor. Protect your energy and focus. Every warrior needs armor. Not just a sword, not just courage. Armor. Because in every battle, no matter how strong or brave you are, the world will try to hit you where it hurts most, in your mind. And that's exactly what happens in life. You wake up ready to fight for your dreams, to stay positive, to chase something great. But the moment you step into the world, distractions, negativity, and doubts come at you like arrows. Someone criticizes you. Someone laughs at your goals. You open your phone and see someone doing better than you. Suddenly, your energy drops, your confidence cracks, and your motivation fades. That's why you need mental armor, something invisible, but stronger than steel. Because the truth is, life will not protect you. You must protect yourself. Let's be honest. The world today is designed to steal your focus. Every sound, every notification, every negative person is trying to pull your attention away from your purpose. Your mind is your greatest weapon, but it's also fragile when unguarded. If you don't protect it, you'll spend your whole life fighting battles that don't even matter. With people, with opinions, with fake standards, with noise. So how do you build this mental armor? It starts with boundaries. What you allow into your mind, your heart, and your time. You wouldn't let a stranger walk into your home and destroy your things, right? Then why do you let negative thoughts, toxic news, or small-minded people walk into your head and destroy your peace? Your mind is your home. Your thoughts are the walls. And your energy is the light that keeps it alive. Protect it like something sacred, because it is. Here's the hard truth. Most people lose their dreams not because they aren't smart or talented, but because they never learn to protect their focus. They let the world distract them until they forget who they are and why they started. Think of your favorite successful people, the ones you look up to. They are not just disciplined in action. They are disciplined in attention. They say no to things that don't serve their vision. They walk away from noise, gossip, and negativity. They guard their mental energy like warriors guard their shields, because once your focus is broken, your strength disappears. Let me tell you a story. There was once a young artist who dreamed of painting something that would inspire the world. Every day he'd wake up early, ready to paint. But every time he shared his work, people criticized him. You'll never make it. Your art is strange. Find something easier. At first he listened. Their words became arrows, and every arrow left a scar. His focus broke. He stopped painting for weeks. Then one day, he realized their voices only had power because he gave them permission to stay in his mind, so he built his armor. He stopped explaining himself to those who never believed. He replaced their noise with silence, and in that silence, he found his strength again. Within years, that artist's work became known across the world. But it wasn't his art that made him successful. It was his armor. That's what I want for you. You must build a mental armor so strong that negativity can't pierce through it. So focused that no distraction can steal your dream. When someone doubts you, your armor says, their doubt is their limitation, not mine. When failure whispers, you're done, your armor says, this is only my training ground. When fear screams, you can't do this, your armor says, I've already decided that I will. Mental armor is not arrogance. It's not pretending you're invincible. It's simply protecting your inner peace, because without it, you can't think clearly, learn deeply, or grow powerfully. And that's why building this armor is not optional. It's essential. Every day you must feed your mind with strength. Read things that empower you. Watch things that educate you. Listen to words that uplift you. Speak to yourself like someone who's worth fighting for, because you are. At Fuel for English Life, we don't just learn English. We learn how to think stronger, feel stronger, and live stronger. Because language is power, but your mindset is protection. Every morning, before you face the world, put on your mental armor. Say to yourself, today, I guard my peace. I protect my purpose. I choose what enters my mind. Because remember, the mind is a battlefield, but only the warriors who wear their armor every day survive and rise. You can't stop the world from attacking, but you can stop it from breaking you. That's the secret. That's strength. That's Rule 3. Build mental armor. Protect your energy and focus. Rule 4. Turn pain into power. Transform every scar into strength. Every warrior who walks onto the battlefield carries scars. Some visible, some hidden. But here's the truth. No one tells you. Your scars are not signs of weakness. They are proof that you fought, survived, and refused to give up when others ran away. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your teacher. Pain is your mentor. It's the fire that either burns you down or forges you into steel. And your choice, yes, your choice, determines which one you become. When we talk about your mind is a battlefield, it's not just about fighting doubts and fears. It's also about how you respond when life hits you hardest, when you lose something you love, when your plans fall apart, when everything feels unfair. That's when the real war begins, not outside, inside. You see, every time something painful happens, failure, rejection, heartbreak, disappointment, your mind gives you two roads. One road leads to self-pity. You tell yourself, Why me? You believe the pain defines you. You start to shrink, to hide, to give up. The other road leads to transformation. You ask, what is this teaching me? You use the same pain as fuel to rise higher. You turn every setback into a step forward. Let me tell you a story. There was once a boy who failed his school exams. Everyone around him said, he's not smart enough. His teachers ignored him, and even his parents were disappointed. But inside, he had a fire. A quiet voice that said, I'm not finished yet. He decided to study again, but differently. Every night, while others slept, he worked harder. He didn't avoid the pain of failure. He studied the reason for it. He learned from it. Years later, that same boy graduated at the top of his class. When people asked him what changed, he smiled and said, I learned how to use my pain. That's the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. How you use your pain. The strongest people you know. They didn't live easy lives. They went through storms that could have destroyed them. But instead of running, they stood in the rain, learned from the thunder, and built shelter out of lightning. And that's what you must do. Turn your pain into power, because pain without purpose breaks you. But pain with purpose builds you. When you fail an exam, when your English learning feels too hard, when people make fun of your accent or your dreams, don't run from it. Stand still, breathe, and say to yourself, this pain is teaching me something. It might be teaching you patience. It might be teaching you resilience. It might be teaching you focus. It might even be teaching you humility. But whatever lesson it brings, take it. Because lessons learned through pain never leave you. Think about this. Gold is just a metal until it goes through fire. Then it shines. A sword is just steel until it's beaten, folded, and burned. Only then does it become strong enough for battle. You are no different. Every heartbreak, every failure, every doubt, that's your fire. That's your forge. That's the process that's preparing you to become unbreakable. Sometimes you'll feel like quitting. You'll think, this is too hard. But in those moments, remind yourself, the pain you feel now is the strength you'll carry later. When you wake up tired, when no one supports you, when your dream feels far away, remember this. Greatness isn't built in comfort. It's built in chaos. It's built in moments where your heart says no, but your soul whispers, keep going. At Fuel for English Life, we believe every English learner, every dreamer, every fighter is walking through their own battlefield. But we don't avoid the pain, we use it. Because when you turn pain into power, nothing can stop you. Maybe today you're struggling with English. Maybe your life feels like it's falling apart. But one day, you'll look back and realize, every struggle was training. Every failure was direction. Every tear was water that helped your roots grow stronger. You'll realize that your pain was never the end of your story. It was just the beginning of your rise. So don't waste your pain. Don't hide your scars. Don't curse the struggle, because every scar you have tells a story of survival, and survival is power. When your mind is at war, pain will always try to break your focus. But when you learn to transform it, it becomes your weapon, sharper, faster, and stronger than before. Remember this, pain is not punishment, it's preparation. And every time you walk through pain, you earn wisdom that no book, no teacher, and no success can ever give you. So, my friend, wear your scars like medals, turn every why me into watch me. And every time life tries to crush you, smile and whisper, you can't destroy what was built by pain. That's how you win the war within. That's how you become unstoppable. That's Rule 4, turn pain into power, transform every scar into strength. Rule 5, discipline is your sword, control your actions. When the world controls nothing, there comes a point in every fighter's life when the war inside grows louder than the noise outside. It's not the shouts of others that break you. It's your own mind whispering, maybe I can't do this. And in those moments, The only weapon powerful enough to silence that voice is discipline. Discipline is not about waking up early or forcing yourself to work. It's about keeping your promise to yourself, even when no one is watching. It's about doing what must be done, not because it's easy, not because you feel like it, but because you said you would. You see, your mind is a battlefield, and the enemy, laziness, distraction, doubt, doesn't come with warning. It sneaks in quietly. It says, you can rest today, you can skip this, you can start tomorrow. But every time you say yes to that voice, you hand over your sword. And once you lose your sword, you lose control. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man named Daniel. He wasn't rich. He didn't go to a fancy school. He didn't even have fluent English. But he had a dream: to study abroad, to see the world, and to make his parents proud. At first, Daniel was motivated. He studied every night, watched English videos, practiced speaking to himself in front of a mirror. But motivation fades, doesn't it? Some nights, he was tired. Some nights his friends invited him out. Some nights, his mind said, just one day off won't hurt. One day off became two. Two became a week. And soon, Daniel's dream started fading into the background. One night, he looked at himself in the mirror and said, if I keep waiting for motivation, I'll never move forward. I don't need motivation. I need discipline. From that moment, everything changed. He made a rule. No matter what happens, I will show up every day, even if I'm tired, even if I fail, even if I don't feel like it. And he did. He studied English even when his eyes were heavy. He practiced speaking even when no one listened. He watched English speeches and repeated every sentence until his tongue burned. A year later, Daniel received a scholarship letter. He did it. Not because he was the smartest, but because he was disciplined enough to fight when others gave up. That's the power of discipline. It wins battles. Motivation can't. The truth is, every person you admire, the millionaire, the athlete, the speaker, the fluent English learner, didn't rely on motivation. They built systems. They followed habits. They stayed consistent when no one clapped for them. Discipline doesn't care about how you feel. It only cares about what you do, because feelings change, but actions build character. If you want to master your mind, start mastering your time. Set your alarm. Wake up. Do the work. Even if your body screams no, your future self will whisper, thank you. Remember, the hardest part is not learning English, building a business, or chasing your dream. The hardest part is showing up when you don't feel ready. But that's exactly what discipline is. Showing up anyway. You will never win the war in your mind if you keep waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. The moment you act is the perfect one. Discipline sharpens your focus. It gives you clarity when chaos takes over. It builds confidence, not from success, but from consistency. Every day you keep your promise, your mind learns one thing: I can trust myself. And when you start trusting yourself, the battlefield changes. Fear loses power. Doubt disappears. You stop being your own enemy and start becoming your own ally. So if you're watching this and you've been waiting for motivation, stop waiting. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire. Discipline is waking up when it's easier to sleep. It's studying English when your friends scroll through social media. It's saying no to distractions because you said yes to your dream. At Fuel for English Life, we don't build excuses. We build warriors, and warriors don't wait for the mood to strike. They strike when it's time. So, my friend, keep your sword sharp. Every morning you rise, every time you choose action over comfort, every time you push forward when it hurts, you win another battle. The world doesn't remember those who tried. It remembers those who stayed consistent, and you, yes you, can be one of them. One day, you'll look back and realize, discipline was never my punishment. It was my freedom. So, hold your sword with pride. Keep your eyes on the mission and fight for the future that's waiting for you. Because in the battlefield of your mind, discipline always wins. Rule 6. Build your mental armor, because life will hit you harder than you expect. There's a truth nobody wants to tell you. Life will hit you when you least expect it. It won't ask for permission. It won't care how tired you are, how kind you've been, or how hard you've worked. It will test you, again and again, until it knows what you're made of. And when that moment comes, the only thing that can protect you is your mental armor. See, most people prepare for success, but very few prepare for pain. They dream of the victory, but they never train for the battle. They want strength, but they avoid struggle. They want happiness, but they run away from discomfort. But let me tell you something powerful. The strongest minds are not born from easy days. They are forged in the fire of difficulty. Your mental armor is not built in moments of comfort. It's built in the moments when you want to quit but don't. When you wake up after failure and choose to try again. When everyone doubts you and you keep moving anyway. When you fall apart at night but still show up in the morning. That's how warriors are made. Let me tell you a story. There was once a woman named Maya. She had dreams, big ones. She wanted to build her own business, help her family, and prove to herself that she was capable of more than what people thought. But life had different plans. She lost her job. Her relationship ended. Her savings were gone. Everything she built fell apart like glass in her hands. And every night, her mind screamed, "You're not good enough. You failed. You should give up." But one morning, she stood in front of her mirror and whispered, "I may be broken, but I'm still breathing. And as long as I'm breathing, I'm still fighting." That was the moment she started rebuilding. Not her business, not her image, but her mind. She started reading books that built her spirit. She started meditating to calm her chaos. She wrote every single negative thought in a notebook and challenged each one with truth. When her mind said, "You can't," she answered, "Watch me." When it said, "You're weak," she replied, "That's why I'm training." Slowly she grew tougher, not colder, but wiser. She didn't avoid pain anymore, she used it. Every rejection became a lesson. Every failure became a weapon. Every tear became a seed of strength. Months later, Maya didn't just rebuild her business, she rebuilt herself. She wasn't the same woman anymore. She had something no one could take away: mental armor. That's what I want for you. Because your mind is the first place you lose before you ever fail in life. People don't quit because it's hard. They quit because they get tired of fighting their own thoughts. So, how do you build this armor? You build it through discipline, reflection, and self-awareness. You build it by doing what you fear until fear loses its voice. You build it by understanding that pain doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to teach you. You see, your thoughts are like soldiers. Some are loyal, some are traitors. You must learn to command them. When doubt attacks, your armor is belief. When fear whispers, your armor is faith. When failure strikes, your armor is perseverance. Every strong person you've ever admired has been broken. The difference is, they didn't stay broken. They cried, they fell, they hurt, but they got up again, stronger than before. That's what your armor is made of. Every time you faced rejection and stood tall. Every time you were afraid but moved forward anyway. Every time you failed but didn't quit. Your scars are not your shame. They are proof that you survived the battle your mind thought would kill you. When life hits you again, and it will, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What is this teaching me?" Because every challenge has a hidden lesson, and every wound has the potential to become wisdom. There's a quote I want you to remember. The same fire that melts wax hardens clay. It's not about the fire. It's about what you're made of. Be the clay. Be unbreakable. You can't control how hard life hits you, but you can control how you react. You can choose to panic or to prepare. You can choose to complain or to conquer. So build your armor now, not later, not when you're ready. Now, train your mind daily. Feed it with positivity. Challenge it with hard goals. Protect it from negativity. and remind it that you are stronger than your emotions, stronger than your fears, and stronger than your past. Because here's the truth. You can lose your job, your money, your relationships, but if you keep your mental strength, you can rebuild everything. But if you lose your mind, even the smallest problem can destroy you. Your mind is your kingdom. Protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. So when the storms of life come, and they will, stand tall, take a breath, and whisper to yourself, I've been here before. I've fought harder battles. I'm not afraid anymore. That's when you'll realize the battle doesn't end when the storm passes. It ends when your mind no longer fears the rain. And that, my friend, is when you become truly unstoppable. Rule 7. Win the war within, because the enemy was never outside. You've made it this far, through pain, through doubt, through endless battles with your own thoughts. And now, we arrive at the final rule, the one that separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the conquerors, the lost from the awakened. Because the truth is, your greatest enemy has never been the world outside. It's not your parents, not your boss, not society, not your past. The real enemy has always been the voice inside your head, the one whispering, you can't, you're not ready, you'll fail again. That voice, subtle, sneaky, poisonous, has been the commander of your downfall for years. It makes you doubt your own brilliance. It convinces you to delay your dreams. It tells you to stay safe when your soul is begging you to grow. But today, that changes. Because once you understand that the war is internal, you reclaim your power. You realize that success, peace, confidence, self-discipline, all of it starts inside you. Let's be honest. The outside world is loud. It distracts you with comparison. It tempts you with comfort. It surrounds you with noise. But the strongest warriors are not those who fight the world. They are those who master their minds. You see, your mind is like a battlefield full of voices. One side, the voice of fear, excuses, and self-doubt. The other side, the voice of faith, vision, and inner strength. And every single day, these two armies clash. The question is, which voice are you feeding? Because whichever voice you feed, that's the one that wins. Feed your fear, and you'll shrink. Feed your courage, and you'll rise. Feed your doubt, and you'll stay stuck. Feed your discipline, and you'll become unstoppable. It's simple, but it's not easy. Because silencing that negative voice takes work. It takes awareness. It takes persistence. It takes catching your own thoughts in the act and saying, no, not today. Let me tell you something that might sting. Most people lose the war before it even starts, not because they are weak, but because they believe the lies their mind tells them. Their mind says, you'll never be fluent. Their mind says, you're too old to change. Their mind says, you'll embarrass yourself. And they listen. They surrender. They stop trying. But the warriors, the ones who rise, they hear the same lies. And they fight back. They talk back to their fears. They rewrite their inner script. They replace I can't with I will. They replace what if I fail with what if I fly. They stop waiting for permission. They stop waiting for the world to understand them. Because they've realized something powerful. The war is won the moment you stop believing your limitations. Every time you speak power to yourself, you win a small battle. Every time you choose discipline over doubt, you win another. Every time you choose to rise instead of retreat, your army gets stronger, and slowly, that inner war begins to quiet. The voice that once screamed, "You're not enough," starts to fade. The battlefield becomes peaceful, and in that peace, you find clarity, you find confidence, you find control. That's when you understand. You were never fighting to destroy your mind. You were fighting to master it, and that mastery. That's where true power lives. You'll notice the change. You'll stop reacting to everything. You'll stop chasing validation. You'll stop letting people's opinions affect your peace. You'll move through life with calm strength, like a soldier who's seen war and now values silence more than noise. You'll realize that success isn't a trophy. It's the ability to stay grounded when chaos surrounds you. It's the power to keep your peace even when everything is falling apart. It's the mental freedom to say, I may not control everything, but I control myself. That's the real victory. So remember this. You can master the world only after you master your mind. You can win any battle only after you win the one within yourself. The strongest people you know, they're not fearless. They just learn to fight smarter. They train their thoughts like soldiers, disciplined, precise, loyal to their mission, and you can do the same. When that inner voice tells you to give up, don't argue, just smile and whisper back, you don't command me anymore. Because that's when the war shifts in your favor. That's when you rise above the noise. That's when you take back your life. And my friend, that's when you truly become invincible. If these words spoke to you, if you felt that inner war raging inside, and you're ready to take control of your mind, your energy, and your future, then this is your sign. Because this isn't just motivation, it's a movement for those who refuse to surrender to self-doubt, for those who want to rise above the noise, above the fear, above the past. So before you scroll away, pause, breathe, and remember, your mind is your kingdom. Guard it, train it, master it. And if you're ready to keep growing stronger every single day, join the family. Hit that subscribe button to Fuel for English Life, where we don't just learn English. We build minds, we build confidence, and we build unshakable warriors. Because here, we don't run from the battlefield of the mind. We win it.